Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is November 12th, and right now we're looking at the infrared satellite imagery out over the Pacific Ocean. You can see the Hawaiian Islands at the bottom left. There's the state of California. You can clearly see the cold air marching across the Pacific Ocean. This is going to help organize that storm. They'll be sitting off the coast for at least a few days, potentially bringing multiple rounds of precipitation into the state of California, maybe some snow for the higher terrain. We'll start to dive into those details as we go through the video here today. Taking a look at the visible satellite imagery, you can see again that marine layer largely absent all the way up and down the coastline here. You can see some contrails from the plains as they go by, some mountain wave activity there across the higher terrain of the Sierra Nevada. And if you look closely here on the GOES 18, you can actually see that snow that came from that last system still up there across some of the higher peaks. And we're probably going to be adding to that here over the next few days. Now, take a look. I think we're just about to hit 9,000. Look at that. Well, what timing there. And yeah, you guys make this possible. Thanks to everybody out there. And yeah, much appreciated. So now we're looking at National Weather Service Sacramento. Check it out, that storm track. We've been talking about this for several days now. And we saw on the infrared satellite image of that cold air dropping down, organizing into our storm, and it will set up off the coastline and probably remain there for a few days. And there's going to be some hit and miss nature to this storm here as well. And some places are likely to overperform and some underperform. And we'll dive into those details here as we go through the video. This day in SoCal weather history, check it out. F0 tornado at 93 and F1 and 97 here. And yeah, interesting stuff. 4 cars were reportedly picked up and moved a few feet. 1978, big snowfall for the higher terrain, and an 82. Great stuff from the National Weather Service San Diego. And this is always a good reminder here when you get in towards November and these fall storms start rolling in here. You know, clean your leaves and debris, check your tires, do all this stuff here. You guys know the drill, and we've probably got more storm activity here coming towards the end of November as well. So a good time to get on top of that stuff. And if you guys want a nice affordable home weather station, click on that link down below. Save 10% off. Does very well against much more expensive weather equipment. Great smartphone app, no batteries, all wireless, solar powered. Now, taking a look here at the European on the left, we've got the North American model starting to come into view here on the right. And this one goes out 84 hours, but we can see how it lines up with the European here. European keeps the storm a little bit closer to the coastline here, right at 84 hours. And that's where the North American model ends. But as we go through the next couple of days, we're going to be able to look at this model and get a little bit better picture of what's going to be incoming here. But you can see the European spins this low pressure system off the coastline. You can imagine the precipitation continuing to round the storm as we go on in towards this weekend. Now, looking at the GFS on the left versus the GFS on the right, this is the difference of 12 hours and runs. This is this morning's run, hot off the presses on the left versus yesterday afternoon's. And you can see it backed off some of the precipitation here for much of the state. So that is something interesting we got to watch here over the next day or two to see if this is going to be a trend. Is it going to keep this precipitation off the coastline here, or is this just going to flop right back as we go through the day today and bring more precipitation inland? All good questions. Let's see what the European has to say. This is last night's trend versus yesterday afternoon's. Put it in motion. Pretty good timing here on precipitation for the Bay Area starting as we go into Tuesday morning. And you can see better amounts the further north you go out of the Bay Area, at least initially, and then this starts to move down across Southern California. Some pretty good amounts coming for some of the higher terrain and maybe even for the Los Angeles, San Diego metro here on last night's run. A little bit of a decline though versus yesterday afternoon. So it's going to be interesting to see what the weather models have to say about this as we go through the day today. Is this going to flip back towards heavier amounts as we go, or is it going to continue to back up? As you can see, impressive precipitation amounts exist right off the coastline, and with the low pressure pinwheeling there, it's going to be a nightmare of a forecast here for meteorologists across the state of California and for Nevada and Arizona for that matter. Here's Los Angeles International Airport. Look at some of the disagreement with some of these ensemble runs. Some of them up over an inch, 1.7. Some of them, one of them up over 2. Actually, a few of them up over 2. And some of the ensembles have nothing for Los Angeles. So this is just a nightmare forecast coming up here. But we do have a few more days to watch this. So stick with us as we go through this day by day. This is San Francisco. Kind of a 1, 2, 3 bump here. It looks like we may get a couple tenths, maybe a little bit more here as we go through Wednesday night there. And then maybe another shot as we go towards the end of the week into the weekend. And then maybe additional systems onto the end of November. We'll worry about that later. Taking a look at the European, and yesterday afternoon's run showed a 1, 2, 3 punch here, and a couple of these pretty rainy solutions. 1/3 of an inch, then maybe up towards 2/3 of an inch, and another shot here as you go through Friday night into Saturday. But of course, stick with us here on the channel because this is most likely going to change. As you can see, the big discrepancy in run to runs within itself on the European. Now, looking at Mammoth here, this is the GFS, and look at some of the snowfall, the higher terrain here across the Sierra Nevada. Big variability showing up again. So I want to keep people cautioned on not latching on to any kind of details on just how much snowfall you're going to get just yet. You can see the mean is right around 5 inches there in the initial 24-hour period. So again, we have a few days to watch this. So let's check back tomorrow and see if we can get some better ensemble agreement here, because this is just wild and all over the place. This is a GFS for Lake Tahoe, something similar. There are some bigger solutions in here, and some of these have just very little snowfall for Lake Tahoe. So again, let's watch this again tomorrow, and we'll try to get some of that detail ironed out. This is last night's European run. Total snow, 10-to-1 ratio. It's going to go out 144 hours, but you can see we should get another nice coating of snowfall. And you can see the big amounts really come in as we go through Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday night here across a lot of the Sierra Nevada. So we're probably going to be able to see that on the GOES 18 satellite imagery here, and you kind of see a little bit more snowfall towards the end of the week, as well as this low pressure will be pivoting across the southwest USA. Here we're looking at national blend of models, and this is of course, California. You've got Arizona here. Nice, comfortable temperatures out here for today. You can see some 80s across Southern California into Arizona. And we kind of maintain this all the way through Tuesday. Then we start to drop back down Wednesday. That storm's going to be getting pretty close at that point, spreading clouds over the region. Some 60s for the valley, cooling down across Arizona and Southern California. Maybe only some upper 70s towards 80 across a lot of Southern Arizona. Also, probably still getting up towards 90 in Death Valley there. But as you can see, we go towards the end of the week and the low pivots across the area. We continue to keep things a little bit cooler than what we are experiencing right now anyway. So yeah, interesting stuff. Pretty comfortable temperatures here, especially coming from the Pacific Northwest here. This sounds like some very nice warm weather here, but I know it can be kind of chilly out here for some of you guys are across the area, especially the valley areas. Once you start dropping into the 60s, it can be a little bit of a shock to the system for the daily highs. Now taking a look at the 7-day precipitation totals here, and this is the official forecast so far, and this was ending on November 19th here. You can see Eureka, Fort Bragg, San Francisco. You know, you got to take these with a grain of salt, though. This is really going to change coming up. I'm just showing it because it kind of shows some individual locations like Stockton, Sacramento, Yuba City, Chico, up towards Redding, Merced down there, and you can see the higher amounts across the Sierra Nevada. But we got to check back on this tomorrow because this could easily swing towards a drier solution. These are pretty wet amounts showing up here. You can see San Jose over an inch, Fort Bragg and San Francisco, Santa Rosa up over 2 inches. Looking further south, I mean, it's showing Los Angeles getting up over 2 inches as well, even San Diego over an inch, Oxnard. Yeah, interesting stuff here, folks. I'm interested to see what this will show tomorrow. Look at for Nevada, Las Vegas, 1/2 inch of rain there as well. Lesser amounts the further you go north across Nevada, St. George, Cedar City, up towards a 1/2 inch. And you can see Phoenix, Flagstaff, and Prescott there. Some interesting totals showing up here as well. But again, we'll check back on this here tomorrow because I don't want to get caught up in the details just yet. You saw this nightmare of a forecast of that low pressure spinning off the coastline. And there actually is a day 4 excessive rainfall outlook. This would be from Wednesday morning to Thursday morning. Does include a lot of the Central Coast up towards the Bay Area. So just something to watch. It's still, you know, as we saw, there's still big discrepancy on how this low is going to unfold. It's a pretty dynamic system with a lot of precipitation associated with it, and a lot of it kept right off the coastline. Any kind of change in that is going to really include California and much heavier precipitation. And this is day 5. You can see that still across some of the Central Coast, getting down towards Southern California at that point. This would be Thursday morning through Friday morning shown there. This will probably be changed over the next few days depending on what the model runs show. So yeah, interesting stuff. You can really see that cold air spilling down off the west coast of North America. Our storm will be organizing here shortly, and it'll be with us for a few days. It's a slow mover, and it's going to be right off the coastline there. Pretty dynamic storm, but again, a lot of that looks to remain off the coastline here, but that can change. We got to watch this closely. So anyway, it looks like we're about to pass 9,000 subscribers. Again, thanks to everybody out there. If you want to click that join button down below, go ahead and do so. And yeah, just the act of actually coming back and watching these videos daily really helps the channel. So much appreciated. And yeah, we'll check this out again tomorrow. And I hope you guys are having a good day, and I will talk to you guys then.